What's up, guys? Welcome back to Boost Brothers Garage. This week we are continuing work on the engine bay. If you guys didn't see part one of the engine bay work series, I'll link it up here. Basically, we went through and anywhere they had an existing stud to mount the factory wiring harness to, we ground those off. We went around and chopped off some of the existing brackets, like the coil bracket. There was a bracket for the power steering reservoir, even the hood latch. We went ahead and took all that stuff off. I'm not going to reuse it. The hood's going to have hood pins. It's going to manual steering. We're going to use coil on plug, so we don't need a standard coil anymore. We're just trying to clean up the engine bay and make everything as simple and pretty as possible. Today, in part two, we're going to go through and we're going to fill some of the unnecessary holes. Some of those holes include where we took out the HVAC system, so we no longer have a need for the massive hole in the engine bay for the AC lines and the lines to the heater core. Before we started filming, so we didn't bore you guys to death, Zach and I went through, we made a bunch of cardboard templates like this and like this. And as the guys from Project Binky would say, CAD, cardboard aided design. So we made a bunch of cardboard templates and then we went through and we transferred it to sheet metal. So we're going to go through now and we're going to weld all these in place. I unfortunately am working out of a home garage and I don't have 220. I have a TIG welder. I have a plasma cutter. We didn't get to use the plasma cutter. We had to use 10 snips and it sucked. And unfortunately I can't use the TIG because I don't have any gas. I can't hook up to 220. So we're going to be using my 110 flux core welder. I don't think this is going to be the prettiest job, but it is what it is. It's a race car. So we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see how the welds turn out. If we have to go back and grind them down and make them look pretty, so be it. We're just filling some holes. This isn't structural. But yeah, we're going to get to it. The first one we're going to do is this oddly shaped piece that goes in place of the heater core and AC lines. So we made this one large enough to not only fill the main hole here itself, but to also cover these little holes so we could do rosette welds. So getting this welder set up properly definitely isn't the easiest thing in the world. I set it to how the welder told me to, and the heat wasn't high enough and the wire speed was too low, so I'm still feeling it out, but we at least got all the holes welded up. I'm not going to weld the inside of that plate anymore. I think it's absolutely fine with just welding the holes, and then I'll go back in on the back side and put some sealant on it. So we're going to move on to the next one. So far it looks really, really bad. I can't do anything to get this welder set up where it needs to be. I've got a birthday coming up in 3 weeks. If anyone wants to buy me a nice welder, I won't mind. For the sake of figuring out whether or not I should continue on this path or wait and try to get a different welder or get my TIG welder set up, we're going to get the grinder out. We're going to grind down these hideous welds and see if we can salvage this. If so, we'll keep going. Caught a spark to the nose. That really hurt. Well, I think the moral of the story is that's gonna work. It's not ideal. Don't judge me, but it will work for what we're trying to accomplish. There will be some holes that I need to go back and tack just to fill in and make pretty, and then we'll grind it all down. We're still going to put sealant on the back, so it's going to do the trick. Not exactly how I had envisioned all this working out, but good enough. And yeah, so we've got a few more holes to fill. I think that's where we're going to sign off tonight, guys. I know it's not the most exciting episode we've ever filmed. We're really working through some tedious stuff here on the 944. We're trying to get to the point where we can go ahead and drop the engine in the car, start reassembling, bolt the turbo on, get to the Mega Squirt, do all the wiring, all the fun stuff that's actually worth watching. But unfortunately, this is stuff that has to get done first. So make sure you stay tuned for all the 944 stuff we've got coming. Also on the Cayman, our next mods, we've already got them in the mail coming our way. An IPD plenum and a GT3 throttle body. So we're excited about that. Make sure you stick around.